Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. First and foremost, before I get into my lesson, I want to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah HaKadash, double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders, a great millstone that teach and that rule well today, and salutation also to the fellow laborers that's in the ministry, and the believers that are scattered worldwide in all truth and sincerity, day in and day out. Once again, I'm the brother Shaquat Gabar, coming at you with another quick lesson. And right before I get into this lesson, this message, or these videos, go out to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which we are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites according to the Bible. And also to the Israelite foreigners that are scattered amongst the heathen nations, and they may take on the physical appearance or look of another nation. But if your bloodline goes back to Negro, Latino, or Native American descent by the seed of your father, you are considered an Israelite as well. Shalom. So basically, you can see I had this video queued up. Okay, one of the beloved brothers amongst the ministry that's in the faith. Okay, off his channel. Okay, you can see arrows in the nation 144. Okay, he gave the title of this of his video, Negroes Negroes can be deported as well. Southern Kingdom, listen up. And it says it's not just the Northern Kingdom anymore. Okay, so if you following on, when it comes to the news, okay, especially when it comes to the men of Great Millstone and the brethren on down, okay, about this whole deportation, okay, ICE raids, okay, when it comes to lately, when it comes to the Southern Kingdom or the so-called Negroes, okay, in particular, so-called Haitians, okay, which is from the tribe of Levi, okay, being rounded up, okay, being deported or arrested or detained, okay, when it comes to the whole ICE situation, okay. Hey, but one time before, okay, it started off with just the Northern Kingdom, okay, mainly the Hispanics and Latino tribes. And you had the Southern Kingdom, certain Negroes or blacks, okay, talking about, they wasn't gonna be there for the Northern Kingdom, okay, don't come to us for help, okay. Hey, but now, okay, you seeing you so-called Negroes, okay, being the target now, okay, show you that we all the same people, man, okay. And eventually, hey, Esau Edom, hey, ready to come in as that flood, man, okay. More and more strict legislations, okay, the coming of martial law, detention centers, okay, a surveillance, okay, especially when it comes to the RFID micro being implemented, okay. You got the whole planetary now, okay, they're being pushed, more AI, okay, leading to more surveillance. And we've been giving that warning, okay, starting with the elder bishops, elder apostles and bishops, okay, a great millstone and a brethren on down, okay. Yeah, but our people don't want to take heed, man, okay, they don't want to take heed. They shun the prophets, they scoff and scorn against the prophets, okay, they want to trust in Esau Edom in the system, they want to trust in these false gods, these idols, okay, different sets of religions, okay. So now the Lord is visiting them, okay, and they only going to get worse from here on out, man, okay. So it ain't going to be no excuse, because Yahweh Shemal Shai have his men out there, and his word being pushed on the internet, man, okay. So let me go ahead and play it. Hey, so the Lord Yahweh Shemal Shai is sharpening that sword, man, which is Esau Edom, okay, when it comes against you tribes, man, okay. Yeah.
If Trump snatch up, say, 100 African Americans and deport them to Sudan or Libya or Nicaragua or El Salvador or wherever, those people are gone. They're out of the country. They're God knows wherever. And so let's say one of their family members file a lawsuit on their behalf. And let's say they successfully get an injunction from the judge. Well, it used to be, before this case, that the judge could say, basically, you got to return all 100 of these African Americans because you unlawfully deported them. But now, with this case, The judge could only say you got to bring that one person back. And the other 99, although it's unlawful, he cannot prohibit that unless they do a class action lawsuit. And people, class action lawsuits can take months, if not years, to get certified. So those other 99 African American people could be over there lingering, rotten in some jail or whatever, while their cases matriculates through the court system. It's almost like saying you can't kill that man after you then shot him. Listen, this court case essentially said to judges, you cannot issue nationwide injunctions except for certified class action lawsuits, even if what he is doing is unlawful. So if you phrase the question this way, can Trump lawfully deport African Americans? The answer is clearly no. But that's not the question. The question is, can he deport African Americans even if it's unlawful? The answer to that question is yes, because there's nobody to stop him anymore. All right, I want that to be clear. This is not just about immigrants. This is not just about Latinos. This case went far beyond immigration. I hope I'm making this clear. This is not just about immigrants. This is not just about Latino immigrants. This case went far beyond immigration. It basically, at this point, jeopardizes all of our rights. All of them. Now, I'm going to take you to the case and I'm going to show you that. So Amy Coney Barrett, Justice Barrett, wrote the case for the majority. And she said that judges could no longer issue nationwide injunctions, even if what Trump is doing is unlawful. You may say, wow, really? Yes, really.
Okay, so you hear the, the Jake, the elderly Jake, okay, going into, now that, even if it's unlawful, okay, Trump has the, the authority now to deport, blacks, American now, okay, or illegal immigrants, okay, like I say, a couple of days ago, or now to talk, about Haitians, so-called Haitians that's over here illegal, okay, being deported or being detained, okay, but even, when it comes to so-called American citizens, okay, that when you come to you so-called blacks that has so-called rights or citizenship here, okay, now they're able to detain, Americans, okay, and eventually they're gonna come for all Americans, okay, or Americans, okay, when it comes to martial law, okay, even these patriotic, average white Edomites, okay, so-called, whites, okay, Edomites, okay, when all hell broke loose. Okay, but we focus on you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, because salvation is only for Israel. And at this time, the elect, because 2/3 going to be cut off and judged, according to Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 8. Okay, but you hear more and more now about the crackdown, okay, or these raids, or ICE raids, or detentions, okay, sinners now, okay, or you got certain, now you got the news coming out, even though they ain't putting it on the main screen, it's mainstream news, but you got, news coming out when it comes to certain Hispanics and Latino tribes, okay, when it comes to them being deported on certain planes, how they throwing them out of planes into a body of water or the ocean, and their bodies washing up to the sea, okay, and so that's out there now, okay. How what else, you got the whole alligator, what they call it, alligator agriculture, Okay, excuse me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Okay, basically Agakauchi, whatever it is. Basically, it's a prison center. Okay, they saying that they have alligators. Okay, it's a prison center on basically an island. Okay, and when it comes to the water, okay, they got alligators surrounding it. Okay, and then that's one of the places they want to put you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans in. Okay, when it comes to this whole illegal immigration or deportation or rounding Jake up, man. Okay, hey, so Yahweh Shemal Shai is visiting you tribes, man. Okay, and it's only going to get worse. Okay, but in the meantime, our people, okay, get ready for the fourth. Okay, being distracted, but the whole Diddy verdict, okay, that madness. Okay, like I say, the average is as usual. Okay, want to be in the spirit of mirth, partying. Okay, looking for more and more sports, what the latest sports news or latest trend or gossip. Okay, the latest social media. Okay, entertainment, music, etc. Okay, but in the meantime, Yahweh Shemal Shai about to bring judgment upon you tribes, man. Okay, and there ain't gonna be no excuse because the Lord gave the warning by the way of the prophets. So let's go ahead and get into the scriptures. And I'm gonna start off with Ezekiel chapter 21, verse 9. And it says, Son of man, prophesy and say, This say the Lord. A sword is sharpened and also furbished. Okay, and that sword represents Esau Edom, because that's his blessing. Okay, the sword. And in this case, going into their troops. Okay, their military troops. Okay, are they UN troops? Or they ICE, troops? Okay, or the when it comes to these whole ICE raids. Okay, when it comes to the whole deportation, and it's only heating up, man. It's only heating up, man. And they say a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharper to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? Yeah, because like I say, a lot of our people in the spirit of mirth. Like I say, you got the 4th coming up. Okay, we're in the time of the summer. Okay, usually with people, always known to partying, cookouts, vacation, family reunions. Okay, certain events going on. Okay, being distracted. But the whole time, the sword is being sharpened. Okay, and we ain't in the spirit of mirth, man. Okay, and it says, it could tempt the rod of my son as every tree. He had given it to be furbished that it may be handled. The sword is sharpened, it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer. Okay, Esau Edom. Okay, the Lord gave Esau Edom the power. Okay, and one of his power is, like I say, the main power of his blessing is the sword. And it says, Cry and howl, son of man, for it shall be upon my people, it shall be upon all the princes of Israel. Terror by the reasons of the sword shall be upon my people, smite therefore upon thy thigh. And we telling our people, okay, use Negro, Latino, Native Americans, that Yahweh Shemal Shai, okay, gonna allow Esau Edom, which are our enemies, okay, to come with that wrath, man. Okay, for punishment against you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay? And you think Esau Edom your friend, okay, you trust in the system, you want to vote, you're looking for reparations, okay, you're looking for a fair shake, okay, justice, okay. Now Esau Edom is our enemy. Okay, Psalms the 83rd chapter go into that. Okay, at this time they're really showing their horns, man. Okay, and they're saying a lot of those so-called ICE raid or troops, they not even official. Okay, some of them they're really average American Edomites. Okay, that dress up like ICE patrols or troops. Okay, so that show you how much they have the hatred towards you Negro, Latino, and Native Americans. Okay, they just average American citizens. Okay, gearing up and pretending they ICE. Okay, and of course you had the real people or real officials. Okay, amongst ICE. Okay, but that's the time we're coming into, man. The racial tensions. Okay, the Civil War. Okay, the class wars and all that, man. And you Negro, Latino, Native Americans gonna get the worst of it, man. When it comes to the 2/3, man. So that sword is being sharpened, man. Okay, let's get this. This is Isaiah chapter 10, verse 5. And it says, O Assyrian, the rod of my anger, the staff is in thy hand. The staff in thy hand is my indignation. Okay, in the modern day Assyrians is this place America. Okay, starting with Esau Edom and this government. Okay, and that staff at this time going into how this government ready to come with that sword. Okay, which is the Lord indignation, man, righteous anger against you tribes, man. As it says, verse 6, I will send him against a hypocritic nation, against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take the spoil and to take the prey and to tread them down like the miry of the street. Okay, so that's 2/3 of our people that's about to get judged, man. Men, women, and children, man. Okay, when it comes to the 2/3, okay, of the Lord's wrath, he's going to use Esau Edom. Okay, and now we've seen it through this whole ice raids or deportation and detention centers being set up. Okay, eventually martial law. Okay, like I say, race wars. Okay, ready to pop off. Okay, so that's it on that. Let me see. Let's get this. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 16, verse 70. For there shall be in every place in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Okay, and the word insurrection means uproars or uprise. Okay, and more that let these ice raids and take more and more in effect when it comes to these tribes. They definitely gonna raise up. Okay, like I said, it is gonna be a civil unrest. Okay, and you're gonna have certain tribes that are gonna take matters in their own hand. Okay, to come against the government. Okay, and it says, a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen sparing none. And you seeing that? Okay, you seeing how DJ Trump moving? Okay, you seeing how this government is moving towards you Negro, Latino, and Native Americans. Okay, you tribes, man. Okay, so they would be like madmen sparing none. Okay, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Yeah, taking people out of their houses, their homes, separating them from their family. Okay, throwing them on trucks or throwing them in detention centers, planes. Okay, deporting them out of the country. Okay, you hear the elderly Jake going into how he's sending certain people to, how this government and through Trump executive orders, how they sending people to El Salvador, okay, Nicaragua, wherever it is, okay, out of the country, okay, Guantanamo Bay, okay. And it says, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then there shall be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as a gold in the fire. And ultimately, that's the elect. Okay, because the elect, us are the hopeful elect, we have to be here going through those trying times. Okay, you're going to have certain members of the elect being thrown in concentration camps. Okay, but the Lord said they even be faithful unto death. Okay, because you're going to have certain elect members that's going to be martyrs. Okay, especially when it comes to Revelation chapter 20, verse 4, the RFID micro being implemented. And you're going to have elect members that's not going to take that RFID, okay, even if it have to be, cause them their life, or cause us our life, man, okay? Yeah, but those that die in the faith are going to be the first ones risen up when Yahweh shall return to gather the rest of the elect, because Esau Edom ain't going to get all the elect, okay? Just certain men, women, and children, okay? I say start with the men, that's going to be martyrs, okay? But they're going to be the first ones risen up when Yahweh shall return, okay? Yeah, but we coming in the time of Jacob's trouble. And out of the time of Jacob's trouble, the Lord is going to deliver the elect. Okay, verse 74. Hear ye, O my beloved, say the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for God, or Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, is your guide, and a guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, say the Lord, power. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. And that's for us, the hope for us. Okay, also the hope for elect. Okay, Yahweh Shema Shai going to be our cover. Okay, but for the 2/3, okay, the Lord ain't going to cover you, man. Okay, the Lord going to send that troop against you. Okay, matter of fact, let me get that. Well, that's Isaiah And that's what we're starting to see now. Isaiah chapter 65, verse 11. But ye are they that forsake the Lord, that forget my holy mountain. Okay, by them not taking heed to the words of Yahweh Shema Shai, by not taking heed to the prophets. Okay, but ye are they that forsake the Lord, and that forget my holy mountain, that prepare a troop for that table, and to furnish the drink offering unto that number. Okay, and the number already set, the 2/3. Okay, that's about to bring the Lord about to bring judgment upon. Therefore, I will number you to the sword. And once again, Esau Edom, the blessing of the Esau Edom is the sword. Okay, he's coming in with those troops. Okay, therefore I will number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, you did not answer, and when I spake, you did not hear, but did evil before my eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. Okay, so how the Lord is calling? Once again, by the way of the prophets. Okay, so I'm gonna get this, and I'll get ready to close. This is Proverbs chapter 1, verse 20. And it says, wisdom cried without, she uttered her voice in the streets. Okay, how the Lord is doing that? By the way of the prophets on the highways and byways, and his word being pushed on the internet as well. Okay, she crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the opening of the gates. In the city she uttered her words, saying, how long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity? The scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. And the Lord is doing that by the way of the prophets. Okay, but our people, they simple. Okay, it says simplicity. Okay, they scorn. Okay, they scorning, they scoffing, making mockery of the words of Yahweh Shema Shai, of the prophets. Okay, and it says, because I had called and you refused, I had stretched out my hand and no man regard, but ye have set at not at all my counsel, and with none of my reproof. They don't want to hear the words of Yahweh Shema Shai, by the way of the prophets. Okay, they reject the word. Okay, it says, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear come. When your fear come as a desolation, and the destruction come as a whirlwind, and distress and anguish upon you. Okay, so how you think those individuals that been detained through ICE, okay, how you think they feeling now? Okay, and now it's coming down to all the tribes now. Okay, so you know they in distress and anguish. Okay, and they going to get worse from here on out. Okay, until Yahweh shall return and redeem the nation of Israel. Okay, starting with the elect. Then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They that seek me early, okay, but they shall not find me. Okay, then they're going to look for Yahweh Shai when they're in a certain situation. Okay, then they're going to look for the prophets. Okay, then they're going to want to call on Yahweh Shai or look for a higher power to deliver them. Okay, for they that hate knowledge did not choose the fear of the Lord. They were none of my reproof. They despise all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat the fruit of their own way, and be defiled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whosoever hearken unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from the fear of evil. And that's ultimately the elect. Okay, but 2/3 of our people, the ones that scoff and scorn, and that came against the truth, okay, don't want to hear the counsel of the Lord. Okay, a judgment is set for them. And we start to see that now more and more. Okay, when it comes to these whole ICE raids and, coming to martial law, detention centers, okay, more strict legislations, okay, and we coming to the time of more of a financial crash, okay, and we coming to the time of famine, pestilence, okay, civil unrest, the implementation of the RFID micro, okay, and so we're in these times, man, okay, but I'm going to go ahead and end the lesson here, and I pray that the lesson will edify. Till next time, Lord willing, shalom to the hopeful elect, shalom.